Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sports Today. We are joined by a very, very special guest in former Premier League and England player Michael Owen. Michael, first off, thank you so much for joining us in this interview.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Great to be here in India. We've had a great time so far. Yeah, thanks for your warm welcome.
That's actually, it brings me to my first question. I mean, it's one of your first visits to India. What's it been like so far being a part of the country?
It's been brilliant. Yeah, I mean, I've already known the passion of the fans out here, but to see it for yourself is great. We've done lots of things, met lots of great people, seen that passion, watched football games with some fans. So surprised in terms of the knowledge, the different teams that everybody supports. It's just been a great trip.
Absolutely. I was actually coming to that. That brings me to my next question quite nicely. Is that, Premier League clubs, a lot of Premier League clubs actually do have a pretty massive fan base. I mean, how surprised were you, and how much of a source of pride really is it for you that the Premier League now commands such a global fan base?
Yeah, we're obviously very aware. We're very proud of the fan base that the Premier League creates. I've been virtually every country in the world, and I've seen it for myself. Um, I think we're very proud of how inclusive the Premier League is, for starters. I mean, over 120 players from different countries have taken part in the Premier League, so it touches all four corners of the world. I think fans can relate to that. They see their local heroes playing in the Premier League. It's just a wonderful thing. And then, of course, the more and more the Premier League grows, the more and more better players arrive. So now we really do have, the cream of the crop, the best players in the world. It makes the game even better for us to watch as fans. And then, of course, all the fans come along with the ride. They support their certain teams. They get more and more information, more and more educated about their teams and their players. So I think it just has a whole spiral effect whereby it just creates something that's very, very special. And that's what the Premier League is.
Absolutely. And also, one thing that, one of the reasons I think a lot of people enjoy watching Premier League football is due to the legacy of some of the clubs. One, of course, being Liverpool, a club you've been very proudly associated with. Not the best of starts for them in the season so far. What do you think, needs to be done now in terms of turning things around? Because there was a bit of upheaval in the summer, and naturally, I think new players take some more time to gel. But I still think results have been a little up and down recently.
Yeah, if we had been doing this interview a week ago, we'd been saying 100%, won every league game, won in the Champions League. And 1 week later, there's three defeats in a week. And a lot of people are labeling it a mini crisis. So, yeah, it just shows you how quickly things can change. Liverpool, top of the league, and with a nice little cushion as well. And then beating Atletico Madrid in the Champions League at home as well was a good result. So, and then all of a sudden, blink of an eye, you're talking about what needs to change or what needs to happen. Of course, we all know that it's not knee jerk stuff. Liverpool aren't playing very badly. Losing away to Arsenal in the last minute isn't a crime. They played quite well. So yeah, listen, Liverpool have signed a lot of players. Those players need to gel. Obviously, not everybody's fully up and running yet. You see Verts, you see Isak, two big money signings that still got to get used to this team, still got to get up to speed with this type of football. So there's still lots to improve on for Liverpool. But I don't think there'll be anybody panicking just yet. There, as you can see behind me, their ribbons are on the trophy. They're the reigning champions. It's going to take a very good team to knock them off their throne this season. Listen, that team might be an Arsenal, it might be a Manchester City. We will see, but Liverpool are still a very strong team, and they'll be back very soon, I'm sure.
Hopefully you're right. But you mentioned, Liverpool being challenged potentially by Arsenal and City. Do you think there's any other team that could potentially spring something of a surprise, or do you think it's going to be a three-way fight as far as the title race is concerned between the teams you just mentioned?
Well, personally, I think it's a two-way fight. I can't see Manchester City winning it personally. That might be quite a surprise to you, but I think Arsenal and Liverpool are stronger than them at the moment. They have had a good start, but I think it's a little bit of a transitional time for Pep Guardiola. I still think that there's more to be done. Um, Haaland has started off in great form, so obviously that's a huge positive for them. But you know, De Bruyne has left. They still have the likes of Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, Kovacic. You know, these are players that have been around for a long, long time. They're not getting any younger. There's still a little bit of surgery to be done in that midfield. Rodri, you know, great player, Ballon d'Or winner, but he had a big problem. He's now trying to come back, and now he's had another injury to his hamstring. So that midfield area could take a little bit of time to put right. Uh, and I just think that Arsenal and Liverpool are better equipped. So I think personally it's a two-horse race, even though teams like Chelsea will want to argue. Tottenham look like a lot better this season. You know, and then you've got your normal teams that are very strong. You know, your Aston Villas of this world that are doing particularly well. Bournemouth are very strong. Brighton are good. There's so many good teams. Even the middle chunk of the Premier League is so strong nowadays that it's there's no surprises. Newcastle, obviously, very good team as well. So lots of good teams, but for the title, I think it's between Liverpool and Arsenal.
You mentioned a lot of teams there, Michael, but one that was conspicuous by its absence, of course, Manchester United. For a lot of fans of a certain generation, you grew up expecting title challenges from them. Of course, it's not really been the reality, and it's fair to say it's been another tough start at Old Trafford. What, in your opinion, do you think the management, including the manager, really need to do to turn things around and turn them around quick?
Yeah, this is the $1 million question, I guess. There are no magic wands in football, I'm afraid. Manchester United have dropped so far in a long period of time, actually. For about the last 10, 11 years, they've been on a gradual decline. That decline doesn't look like it's changing any time, you know, very soon anyway. But I would say, you know, there's so many different theories, so many different reasons, and there is not one. I mean, you can, you know, let's look at the last 10 years of Manchester United and what have they done? You know, to start off, it was great under Sir Alex Ferguson, but then David Moyes comes in and they didn't win the league. So their answer was, well, let's change the manager. They'll, you know, we'll win the league again. Well, that obviously didn't happen. And then they went through the likes of Mourinho and Van Gaal and all these great managers. Now, quite clearly, it shows you that it's not just about the manager. In that time, the players have got the flack. So let's bring all the best players. Let's spend billions of pounds on the best players. Where, you know, I can't think of one player off the top of my head that signed for Manchester United and is actually in a better position than they were when they signed. Players have been regressing at Manchester United for many, many years. Then it was the facilities. Old Trafford's fallen down. They've just spent tens and tens of millions on the training ground. Then it was the recruitment, you know, so they've changed all their boardroom level and all the you know, the important people, you know, sports scientists and the physios and the whole thing. The whole thing has been
Don't
ripped
forget the
up.
ownership as well. There was a change in the
The
ownership.
And now the latest great idea is, oh, the system doesn't work. Well, under Ten Hag last season, the system was working, was it? I wouldn't say it was. I think it was absolutely awful, the football last season. So it's not like, you know, people have got these ideas. It's got to be that thing or that thing. It's a magic one. It's not. It's not that. It's not the system. It's not the player. It's not the manager. It's not the board. You know, this just happens in football. Liverpool had a fantastic, you know, time of it in the 70s, 80s, and then all of a sudden, you know, in my generation when I was coming through, it was a struggle. Manchester United took over, they flew for it, then it was a struggle. Now it's a struggle. The emergence of Arsenal, the emergence of Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City, you know, every team has sort of times. We can't all have the best team all of the time. And Manchester United are going to do everything in their powers, whether that be managers, players, boardroom, everything to try to get back on the top. But sometimes it takes time, and teams are just ahead of them at the moment.
Absolutely. It's funny you mentioned your time at Liverpool because, of course, and this is something a lot of younger fans may not even remember, but you've actually been, Ballon d'Or winner yourself, as you mentioned, Rodri was. I mean, if you just have to, and this is just a full fun thing, who do you think could be the next Englishman to potentially win a Ballon d'Or in the coming seasons?
Good question. Um, I don't know. If you'd asked me maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I would have said, well, Harry Kane is right at the top of his game. If you know, if Bayern Munich win a Champions League or if England win the European Championships, then maybe a Harry Kane. Jude Bellingham was coming on the scene. He looked really good. Phil Foden was fantastic at the time. Had a little bit of a quiet period since. So there were contenders, a couple of seasons ago. Right now, it's hard to see somebody winning the Ballon d'Or this year unless England go and win the World Cup. And if they do, then one of the star players from that tournament could win it. But at the moment, we've got a lot of potential players. As I say, those players, if Manchester City win a Champions League and England win the World Cup, then obviously Phil Foden has got a real chance of it. It just depends. You need an individual performer and you need success as a team. You need the whole lot, really. And there are contenders, but if you're asking me if England got one of the five best players in the world at the moment, I'd probably say not. So it's going to take something quite special from somebody to win it in the upcoming years.
True, but it also is worth remembering that, as you said, football a team game, and I think for a lot of English fans, the one question always will be, when is the year you finally get international glory? Obviously, England now have a new manager in Thomas Tuchel. How do you rate England's chances under Tuchel's management, considering he does have pedigree when it comes to winning titles?
Yeah, I hear that argument, but it's very difficult to win an international tournament. I mean, England have done so well in recent seasons. They've got to finals, semi-finals. They've been really, really outperformed um, many expectations. And just remember, if you're the manager of Liverpool, you get at least four chances of winning a trophy every single year. I mean, if you're the England manager, you get one every 2 years. I mean, they have 8 times more chance of winning a trophy than you do at international level. It's really, really difficult. And by that, I'm talking a real standout trophy. So 8 times more chance of being a successful club manager than you are being an international. It's not easy at all. You have to wait a long time. And then at that specific time, you have to peak at the right time. All your players have to be fit. It's difficult. And it's going to be difficult in America, Mexico, and Canada. I mean, we're playing in their summer. It's going to be baking hot. It's not going to play to England's advantages. I look at the England team, and a lot of our best players are either not been in form in recent year, let's say, or been injured. So the likes of Bellingham been had a major injury, maybe not quite playing as well as he was when he first joined. Phil Foden not in the same form as he was a couple of seasons ago. Marcus Rashford, he's been quiet for a few seasons now, but just starting to emerge again. But you look at people like John Stones, our centre half for many, many years. He's hardly playing. He's getting older. Harry Kane. I mean, he's not getting any younger either. Can he continue and do well? I don't know. I think it's going to be very difficult for us. We've got some very good players, but the conditions and the age of some of our key players, I think it'll be difficult to win.
All right. Well, thank you so much once again, Michael, for joining us. It's been a really fun interview, and it's been really nice to have your insights over here on Sports Today. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Good to see you.